Hello, everyone. So I am. So I want to share the journey of my thesis project, and this all began when I came to know that out of the 2.7 million blind people in Europe, only 25% are employed. So if you can guess why, this is partly because only 10% of them know braille. So which means that those workplaces and transport systems that are made accessible but are actually not accessible by everyone. This also means that employers who want to actually employ blind people do not have the necessary tools to employ them, or it is very difficult for a blind person to travel from work to home and things like that, right? So I began to wonder, what if they can code? So coding provides a very interesting opportunity because they can work from home and they can also get access to good jobs. And in fact, learning to code can also lead school children to get up for the job market, right? So this is why I began working on this. If you are going to ask me what exactly is the problem, right? So there are two kinds of tools that is available for a blind person to interact with a computer. Excuse me, I have a issue with my speech, so I just wanted to tell you. One is the braille display, which is like popular one. But then the problem is, as I earlier told you, that not everyone can read braille, and the next major thing is like it's really expensive to own one. And the next class of tools that they have is screen reader. So it's like a piece of software that reads every element on the screen. But the problem is that like it can read a large piece of text. It can read e-books, for example, or to read or browse the internet. But when it comes to code, it's really difficult. And I just made an audio. I hope it plays. Do you have some?
Class.
Yes. Yeah.
Node.
This is how it reads.
Colon.
This piece of code.
Blank. Space. D. Line init line. Left pair. Self, comma, data, comma, next node, equals, none, right parent, colon,
So,
blank,
now if you imagine
space,
if they want to read through a lot of
space, S,
so it's like really
dot,
exhausting for
data, equals.
So it is nearly impossible for them to skim through code. The large lines of code, it's nearly impossible for them to skim, and particularly it's very difficult to navigate and debug because especially for blind users, even for blind professionals, it is difficult to read code that was documented by a person with sight. So because, like for example, a very simple example, if a sighted person is going to say n number of terms as n terms, the screen reader is not going to associate n with the term. So it's just going to read terms, and the functions or the conditions later on called is not going to make sense for it, right? So it's really difficult for them, for a young learner to take inspiration from online resource, for example. And also moreover, because it's all audio based, it's really difficult for them to focus and get the task done without like a lot of mental load, you know. So in order to try some try to work on this issue, I try to brainstorm with people from different backgrounds, and we could develop some ideas. I also had the opportunity to co-create with some blind students, where I could really learn the way they comprehend large piece of information in one go. And then I made some concepts using foam and like wood and things like that. And this is when things got interesting, because this is when I got inspired by the idea of open source hardware. Because I myself, or like I'm limited with my own industrial design skills, and like I'm not much into coding, you know, like a engineer who has done expertise in it. So I made it open source basically, and I also got some contributors to work on, and together we took it to the next level. We built some algorithms that could be independent of the platform it is used, like independent of the language, and also scan, like analyze the entire code, and could represent the code structure in a tactile way. So yeah, so the main design focus was on the code comprehension and code navigation. So yeah, so this is like a GIF that I made. So as you can see, it basically what it does is it understands the code, and it shows via touch the different indentations and the way the logic is built. So and also that so if they want to read something particular in a line, they just double tap, and audio feedback is used. So basically, I'm using the technology what a screen reader does, but I'm providing more organized information for the user. So through which they can really choose between what they want to read and what they don't want to read. So yeah, and also you can read through word by word and character by character, so that they can go to one specific character and then they can edit the syntax if there's an error. This is a user review that
I Hi, my name is Adam. I have been a developer for about 9 years professionally. I've been doing development in general for 16 years. I'm right now a manager and developer at Booking.com. So I got introduced to the product today. It's pretty cool. It would allow me to look at the structure of the code using the stuff that moves on the rail. I don't know the names of these yet. So little knobs, and they move around. And it tell me what the structure of the code actually looks like in a tactile way. And then I can use the joystick here at the bottom to go deeper, go character by character, word by word, and get the details that I want. And then this allows me to learn like programming concepts from in a way that sticks more, because it's more tactile as opposed to audio, which is what we generally have before. And so this is just like speaking from the point of a programmer, but for children also this is a really great product, because it allows children to see the product reacting to their touch, and as a child that's very important. If you have a product that you can like touch it and then interact with it and have it respond to your touch and have it respond to what you want to do, and have programming concepts explained to you through a device like this, it helps you a lot in making sure that the concepts that you're learning stick in your mind in a multi-sensory way. It's not just audio, it's audio and also something representing it in a physical form that we can interact with, that we can touch, that we can explore. So I totally recommend this for teaching children how to program or how to start programming. And if you're just starting, you're on Windows, you want to learn programming, this is totally great for understanding how multiple parts of the code interact with each other.
Yeah. So the next steps would be more user testing, because of the time limitation of my thesis, it's like really difficult to access every blind programmer that's possible. And about the software and hardware integration, and I'm looking for contributors who have expertise in these fields to contribute, and yeah, so technical documentation and stuff. And if you're interested, you can know more, and when we have break, we can discuss if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So